Hey everybody, welcome to another video. Today, it'll be the trailer analysis for Disventure Camp All-Stars episode 11. Before this begins, a few things to note. I am not in ownership of the background footage, it is owned by Odd Nation Cartoons. This is just my personal opinions, analyses on the scenes. It's completely fine if you have different. In my videos, I do sections to maintain organization and simplicity. The sections for this video are trailer analysis, who's gonna return? Who's gonna be eliminated? Conclusion. Without further delay, the first section of the video will begin, the trailer analysis.
There's no honor among thieves.
Are we stealing something?
For this trailer analysis specifically, I'll be going for a more unique approach. For those who have seen the trailer for Disventure Camp All-Stars episode 11 on their own, you'd know the beginning of the trailer has voice clips of things some of the characters say throughout that episode. Therefore, I'll begin by analyzing each voice line in the order of when it appears in the trailer itself, then move on to the actual clips, scenes, by going in the order I think will happen in the actual episode. The first voice line is from Miriam, which is,
I ain't no quitter.
This voice line to me seems like her and Tom are running behind some of the other duos in the comeback challenge, and like how Miriam refuses to quit now. It could also be her old age getting to her. I mean, it was foreshadowed like 8 times before she got eliminated, but I don't see why they do it now in the midst of everything else. Plus, even if I'm not the biggest Jake fan right now, he doesn't deserve to lose. Miriam, plus I feel like it'd be a little too dark. The next voice line is from Gabby, which is,
I'm about to throw up.
Later in the trailer, since it's shown Jake has a rope over the cliff, my guess is one person from the duo has to lift the other over the cliff itself. Or at least similar, and due to the stress from earlier situations adding onto this, she's not really able to lift up Ellie's rope as easy. It could also be from other parts of the challenge, though I'm just thinking that it would be the last part, cliff part. On to Ally's voice line.
This could decide my streaming career.
This line excites me so much because this could mean we're getting to see more of the interesting conflict that she has with the haters online. My guess for this specifically is that due to the hero's horrible position in-game, she's stressing about it. Remember, earlier in the season, Ellie pointed out that her and Hunter needed to think more strategically, not get distracted, with her main reason being wanting to avoid the hate. So now she's realizing that she could easily be getting out soon, before any comebacks are announced, and is thinking that this will determine her future failure or success. Overall, I'm hoping that this leads to her character focus not being fighting with Jake 24/7's next line is,
Nothing's in our way.
Fiore's line to me here implies that her and Alec managed to gain first somehow for a moment, and she celebrates till it's taken away not even a second later. It could also be her trying to hype up her and Alec, but this is also Fiore we're talking about, so I'm leaning more towards the first option here. The following line is from Lake, which is,
What happened here?
For this line, there's basically nothing to go off of even given in the actual scenes. My best guess is she noticed some sabotage in the challenge, or rather the challenge was different than described and she noticed. Honestly, probably my least confident prediction in this entire video. Onto the next line, which is from Rhea.
Do I look like
I know I am missing a certain word, but I am not the one to cuss, nor do I want to include that often, or at all in my videos. In any case, knowing that her partner is Connor, she's probably saying this towards him as he tries to warn her yet again of something. And since this is Rhea, she refuses to care about it, listen to it at all. This could also be from anyone else, but to me it makes the most sense for it to be Connor. Not much more to note as this moves on to Ashley's first line.
Are you okay, Jake?
Given the scene we see later with Jake falling fast from the cliff, my guess is after she said her most angry line in history, the other line she says in the trailer, she yells down to him in the water, trying to make sure he is okay after falling. This is also due to the fact Jake's duo partner is Ashley, going towards Yul's line. I don't think there's really much to explain here. Given this is Yul, he would probably call anyone a loser for any reason. Though, specifically, in the scenes from the trailer, Yul and James look ahead at points. He could be seeing others coming closer, but they are very ahead, and therefore he just insults others. Since this is Yul, at this point, I'm not surprised at any insults, lol. The final line to analyze from this trailer is from Ashley. At first, I didn't even know this was Ashley due to how angry she is here, but I think it makes sense. My guess right now of how she got so angry as to say this is that someone pushed Jake off the cliff. The scene itself shows Jake didn't expect to go off the cliff at all yet, and shows him scared for his life. The main question I'm thinking now is who pushed him off. But whoever did not get off scot-free with Ashley there. With all the lines analyzed, this video can move on to the scenes from the episode, starting with the night scene with Trevor and Derek. I'm starting with this because I would think this episode is starting from the night of episode 10. It doesn't make sense to me to put this at the end of the episode or middle. For me it fits at the start, at least to me. Onto the actual scene at hand, I'm thinking Trevor is trying to finally go to Derek after what Emily said. Derek works on production at night, or implied from the trailer, so he goes that night specifically ready to tell him. But before he can, Derek informs Trevor of something that makes him really happy, and whatever it is Trevor supports. I'd say it's related to Crystal, but if it was, I'd think Trevor would offer a fake smile. Plus, why would he be shocked about that? Maybe Derek says he's getting promoted after Emily leaving, and even though Trevor is still sad about it, he would be excited for him. I can't really decipher any other situation right now, though wholesome to see the smiling at one another for once, lol, or interacting alone since like episode 2. To the morning, we actually don't see any morning scenes from the trailer, but I mean I'm sure it's something of the usual. Yul being a brat to Gret, and one of the villains gets their turn to defend the heroes further, realizing that they are so done for. Until they are all called to the main area, to where it is announced that there will be a comeback challenge as all the previously eliminated campers are welcomed back. I'm more curious as to why Gabby looks so sad. Maybe she's worried about what Ellie will think of how she's been acting recently. Next scene reveals that Marcus and Nina are in fact alive, as they had gone to grab the eliminated campers as they go off the bus. They stand here in elimination order from first boot to the latest, each with different expressions as they prepare to do this comeback challenge. The following scene shows Crystal explaining how this'll work. My thoughts for this is that she's telling them that the comeback challenge won't be just the eliminated contestants, the remaining campers will also help out. Due to some interesting duos shown later in the trailer, Hunter, Gret, James, Yul, I'm thinking what I've seen some others think that the eliminated campers choose who helps them from the person who placed the highest to the lowest. For example, Ashley picks first, then James picks last. This also explains why Jake and Miriam aren't a duo, how James got stuck with Yul, why Eli isn't with Hunter, etc. Though I'm interested to see the in-show reason for why Hunter chose Gret over his other options. I guess we will see. Speaking of which, this has to have some sort of reward for the campers. Why on earth would Yul later in the trailer actually be doing a challenge and actually be willing to do this with James of all people? Moving on to the next scene, we have Ellie and Gabby reunion. Yes, here, Ellie is tad worried, shocked, with Gabby grabbing her hand, with her comforting her, telling her that they can win this, as they just smile at one another. These two are just too sweet to each other anyway. To Miriam and Tom, some remark was probably made to them or Miriam, as she has a snarky remark back, or she's really confident in winning this, as also shown in expression. And the line from earlier, moving on to the challenge, starting with each duo preparing to run off. Here we can see what each duo is, which they are: Ellie and Gabby, Yul and James, Aiden and Lake, Tess and Eli, Connor and Rhea, Alec and Fiore, Ashley and Jake, Miriam and Tom, Hunter and Gret. Going to the first duo talking to one another, it is Alec and Fiore. Amazing. I'm so interested to see how these two interact, and the way Alec was so excited to see Fiore work with her partially is just they can make up. Fiore then questions, probably asking how they were going to win or how the game has been going, with Alec answering and or filling in. I'm really hoping these to get a lot of screen time because this just is going to be great. To Miriam and Tom, Tom has the teary eyes. The last time he had that, it was about Jake, and since this is Miriam he's talking to, he's probably talking to Miriam about his issues with Jake, with Miriam here to offer her wisdom and help him out. Given the two had been arguing a bit earlier, I'm interested to see if this will lead Miriam and Tom making up in the end. And maybe this will even lead to the end of the Tom and Jake plot. Yippee! Going to the most interesting duo of probably the entire episode, Hunter and Gret. Gret is probably trying to start some small talk with him, with Hunter not being too interested since he doesn't like Yul. Gret was an antagonist in S1, etc. Though I do think it'd be extremely fun if Hunter warns her about Yul, or maybe the two even form a friendship out of this. That would be unexpected. To the next scene, James is excited to see the motorcycle and the fact he's here before everyone else. He instantly goes onto the motorcycle with him smirking back at Yul. Yul is annoyed and just agrees, goes along with it. Honestly, I am so excited for this duo because it'll be the funniest thing. Been curious to see how they interact. Anyway, lol. Going to Rhea and Connor. Connor is frustrated with something as Rhea makes some remark. Connor is clearly not pleased with whatever she said as he gets even angrier, planning to yell at her too. Speaking of Connor, we also still see him angry at something or someone as Fiore comes over to tell him to shut up. What an icon. But anyway, these two's dynamic is so funny for no reason and I need to see more of it. Wonder what Connor got so angry at, though my only thinking is a villain sabotaged or something, or Rhea did something extremely stupid again. Also, I need more Fiore screen time this episode, please. To Hunter, it's shown he's smiling while talking to someone. My best guess is that it's a lie, Tess. Speaking of a lie, she's also shown in the next scene smiling, cheering someone on. To me, it'll be Hunter or maybe even Ashley, even if she's with Jake. To Aiden and Lake, Aiden looks annoyed at somebody, probably Rhea or Jake, with Lake looking fully concerned. This could be her asking what had happened, or overall just discussing worries from the motel or what's happened with the game and him in it. I also wonder that if James won't, maybe Lake can tell Aiden that Jake got out. James, I need to see that fight, not gonna lie. Going to Ellie, she looks like she's asking Gabby what's going on, calling her Gabs while doing so. Wondering why she's doing this, interested to know just most things. Gabby for a second tries to keep it in, but breaks in an instant, probably telling her she misses her, that she doesn't know what else to do. Her negative thoughts are coming back, she doesn't know what to do, etc, etc. Since this is Gabby, this could realistically be about most things. But that's what I'm leaning towards. This is going to break my heart, ain't it? Going to yell, he's doing the challenge, then yelling at someone, probably someone told him to hurry up, insulted him, etc. And then he obviously responds in a rude tone, because it's yo, need I say more? Ending this off with Jake, who's falling pretty fast. As stated earlier, he doesn't look like he expected this. Someone either pushed him off or sabotaged him. Watch Rhea do it too. In any case, this episode is going to be a roller coaster. With this section finished, the next section can begin. Who's gonna return?
There's no honor among thieves.
Are we stealing something?
I'll be starting with who I think has no chance of returning, then move on to who I think does for this section specifically. Starting with Ashley, she just got eliminated. It would ruin basically everything episode 10 did and would make the comeback challenge a waste of time. Next up, I think Miriam also has no chance of returning. It would also ruin Jake's development right now anyway, and she has no reason to return. She's giving advice to Tom, she's having her effect. Already, next up, sorry Tess fans in advance, I don't see Tess returning. She just got out, and no offense, but she'd just be a replacement Ashley. Yay, we could see more of Eli and Tess, but we're getting that this episode. There's no way she's coming back. Next up, my original comeback winner prediction I think is Lake. It could be interesting to see her come back and try to help the heroes, but I feel like it'd be another Ashley situation to where she would just get in. Quick elimination, instant target, and what affect could she give right now? Aiden is finally going solo for once and we get more of their dynamic, this episode anyway. She wouldn't even have any arc of any kind because she doesn't need one. The rest of them I do think have at least a little chance of returning, starting with James. I'd love to see him come back, maybe a Jake rivalry and it ends the love triangle. However, I think again it would be an instant target. Aiden wouldn't be solo anymore to grow, not that he has, but still, and part of me is thinking it actually might expand the love triangle, which if it does, oh dear, save me gosh. Again, he could, but not as likely as the other four. Moving on to Fiore, I think she has a chance of returning, mainly for her dynamic with Alec, which is getting focused this episode, but still, it would also be interesting to see her and Jake's dynamic. Plus, it would be an unpredictable one partially since she's bad at physical challenges. It could also further force the heroes to work together and show that they can't fool around anymore. It's 6v4 and that they'd have to flip some. Next up I would say is Ellie. Ignoring my bias for less than a second, I think she has a decently high chance of returning. She didn't read Patreons. I didn't mention this for James since his VA was confirmed busy. I haven't seen any direct proof of Ellie's VA being busy. Ellie could also affect the merge insanely with her previous dynamics. Chaos with Jake, Tom, Aiden would allow her to actually redeem herself maybe and allow her and Gabby to have a power position as each side wants their votes. I do understand the point it could hurt Gabby's arc, but in the trailer it looks like it's affecting it anyway of some sort. So I don't think it ruins it. Overall, she also seems like she has a lot of screen time this episode, as she should. Plus, I think it's easily plausible for Gabby and Ellie to manage to snag the win. On to the final two I see returning the most, Hunter and Connor. Starting with Hunter, his thing with Eli isn't finished. He wouldn't be the most predictable. He could also give challenge advice to everyone else, and it would be nice to see him actually try to be strategic for once. Plus, I think he'd fit into the heroes quite perfectly, having to try and stop the chaos between them. Plus, what's even better is he doesn't have a child to yell at. Fun, onto the person who I think is coming back the most, Connor. Call it predictable, but for now, it makes the most sense to me. He would work so well due to his previous dynamics with Alec and Rhea, and would be a Miriam of the heroes. Plus, why bring back such an early boot if you're just going to boot him so early again? He could also be cool as a solo character on the heroes that isn't with Rhea 24/7. He also wouldn't be an instant target. He'd be able to keep himself in and really actually be strategic at this game. He might not need the money or win for that matter, but he'd make a fun addition to the cast for a short while. With Who's Gonna Return finished, now onto Who's Gonna Be Eliminated.
There's no honor among thieves.
Are we stealing something?
Though I'm thinking this'll be a non-elimination, there's still a possibility that someone will be eliminated, and therefore here we go with this. Do note this could absolutely be affected by who returns, but even so, no way whoever returns is heading home the same episode. In terms of heroes, probably Tom is going due to being a huge threat. Out of all of them, again, whoever returns, even a threat, probably wouldn't go same episode. In terms of the villains, it's much more of a wild card. But since Rhea is always being the target the heroes go for, it's probably her. Unless Connor returns, then it's probably Yul, since Rhea would get some reward to keep her in or something. This may have been quick of an analysis, but overall I don't even think an elimination is happening, so lol. On to the conclusion.
There's no honor among thieves.
Are we stealing something?
This episode is going to be something, and I am so excited to see how it all goes. But what are your thoughts, theories on the trailer? I would love to hear in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again on the channel. Have an awesome day. Night.com by hiii.